As you set sail on your personal journey with type 2 diabetes, it can be useful to learn about what's going on in your body in order to better manage your condition. And to start, it helps to know just how much your body relies on sugar. Not the granulated sugar that you mix into tea or a cookie recipe, but a slightly simpler molecule called glucose. Glucose is the main fuel that powers your body, from the muscle cells in your feet to the brain cells that help you think. Much of the glucose in your body comes from the food you digest, which gets absorbed through your intestine. And not just sweet food like cookies. Fruit, certain vegetables, grains, and even milk have glucose molecules that get released into your bloodstream. Imagine your blood vessels as a bunch of conveyor belts in a factory, where molecules like glucose are packages that get shuttled around, each destined for a specific use. Different packages can get put into or taken out of this factory through various hatches, some that need special keys and some that don't. One of those special keys is a hormone known as insulin. When the amount of glucose rises in your bloodstream, an organ called the pancreas gets a signal to release insulin. And insulin allows glucose molecules to move from your blood vessels into cells so the glucose can be used as fuel or stored for later. A couple of parts act as warehouses for glucose. Fat cells store extra glucose for the long haul, as does your liver. Your liver can actually make glucose too. It's all part of a complex regulatory system in your body that, when it's working as it should, keeps everything in balance and your blood glucose at a normal, healthy level. Diabetes is a condition where there's an issue with how that level of glucose in your blood is regulated. In type 1 diabetes, your pancreas doesn't produce any insulin. And in type 2 diabetes, there are a few possibilities. Your pancreas isn't making enough insulin, your body isn't able to properly use the insulin it does make, or it could be both. In other words, when there aren't enough insulin keys, the glucose packages build up and start causing a mess in the metaphorical factory. Or the same problem happens if the insulin keys aren't being detected by the hatches in the cells. Too much glucose in your bloodstream over time can slowly damage your body and lead to lots of different complications, many of them irreversible. That's why diabetes is considered to be pretty serious. Some people experience physical symptoms related to high blood sugar, like frequent urination, unusual thirst, an extreme lack of energy, and infections that are slow to heal. But other people live with type 2 diabetes for years before getting diagnosed because they don't show any symptoms. Whether you have symptoms to investigate further or are just going to a routine checkup, a healthcare provider can order some blood work to confirm whether your body is making and/or using insulin properly. Specifically, they'll check for markers like FPG, short for fasting plasma glucose, which is sort of a snapshot of your blood sugar levels. Or there's A1C, short for hemoglobin A1C or glycated hemoglobin, which gives a sense of your blood sugar levels over the past 3 months. If it turns out that your body isn't making or using insulin properly, you hear that fateful diagnosis: you have type 2 diabetes. More often than not, it's a diagnosis you'll then have for life. It's possible that someone might tell you that you have a touch of sugar or that you're borderline, which is pretty ambiguous and unhelpful. Remember, knowledge is power, and you deserve to know what's going on in your body. Asking a healthcare provider for clarification and even seeing the results of your blood test for yourself can set the record straight, so you aren't left feeling confused about your health. Now, I'm going to issue a challenge to you. If you've been diagnosed with diabetes, work towards accepting that diagnosis. If you already feel that acceptance, great, you're ahead of the game. If not, think about what's standing in your way. What are your unanswered questions? Who do you need for validation or support? Seek out the resources and the people that will help you fill those gaps. After all, the first step to living well with diabetes is coming to terms with your condition. Thanks for watching this episode of How to Type 2.